The only thing we have to fear is fear itself.
Beer. So many choices.
Only no function beer well without.
Woohoo! Beer!
Hello and welcome to another episode of Beer Busters, where we're going to bring you the news and reviews of some wonderful brews. My name is Dan Baker, as always, joined by my co-host and brewologist,
Steph Hefner,
and our fermentertainer,
Wayne Baker.
Now today, very excited for this one. This is the first recording of 2015.
Woo!
Oh, yeah, I guess it is.
It is, but not the first episode released in 2015.
No.
But first we're recording in 2015. I'm very excited because we're starting off the year with a bang, pretty much. We're on location at St. Boniface in Ephrata, PA. And we have three guys with us who were kind enough to welcome us in here and spend a little bit of time with us and get us a little bit drunk. But if you guys wouldn't mind introducing yourselves, we have
Mike Price.
John Northup.
And Dane Shirey.
Gentlemen, thank you so much for having us out here today.
You're welcome.
I'm very, very, very excited for it. And I know
and it's been a long time coming.
It has.
Dane
I was just going to say,
have been working on this for quite some time.
Yeah, and Dane, we had met at Brewphoria. Was it not?
Well, Steph and I met Dane at St. Boniface.
Dane, I met at Brewphoria, I suppose, then.
And it was warm out then.
Yes.
What's warm?
And we were sitting in this area drinking beer and eating food, and now it's
and now
a brewery.
it's full of,
When we walked
equipment.
in, Wayne, you go, wow, there's a lot of new stuff in here.
More on that later.
Yes, exactly. And I'm very excited to get to it. But first, we have a little bit of news we have to get to. All right, after fighting with the internet, I have the news here. We have, there's a few stories that I have, and it's really two big stories, and one was something that Steph showed me on Facebook that's super cool, and I'm very excited for it. Now, one thing, the first story here, Wayne, kind of ties in with you, and I don't know if you had seen the news that I posted online for us for today.
Maybe.
Maybe? Okay. It has to do with one of your go-to games.
Oh, yes, I know exactly what you're talking about.
Overall, breweries are running out of names for their beers.
This is from NPR.
From NPR, yes. I feel classy because I'm citing
Brewers
NPR.
are running out of names for their beers, and it presents a problem in the industry. Continue.
Exactly. So virtually every large city, notable landscape, feature, creature, and weather pattern of North America has been used. And there's over 3,000 breweries in the U.S. overall, so they're finding it tough to find names that are not already in use. There's somebody who is, she's known as the craft beer attorney. Her name is Candace Moon. She's in the San Diego area as a lawyer. She specializes in helping brewers trademark their ideas and settle disputes from it. So Moon told NPR that she has never seen a brewery intentionally infringe upon another's trademark name, image, or font style, but with tens of thousands of brands in the North American beer market, it happens all the time. And according to her, there are only so many words and names that make sense with beer, so it's not surprising that many people come up with the same ideas. A frequently recurring issue, she says, is different breweries thinking they've coined the same hop-centric puns and catchphrases.
Insert hop pun here.
Exactly.
Tasty beer.
In fact,
The name is already taken.
I know, and that name is taken.
I still think one of the best names I've seen for it was just Lagunitas Sucks. Like, that's such a straight-to-the-point name.
Yeah.
That, I love it. But according to her, if you go to Google and just do a quick search, you will find several beers named Hopscotch.
Hopscotch,
which
yes.
we did feature.
Which is a game we played once.
Exactly. Once, but you came up with the idea early on.
We played it at a hop farm.
We did, that's right. That made perfect sense. And there's at least 3 IPAs with the name Bitter End.
Yeah.
Now, examples are, and then there's a really cool example that we made reference to on the show before. Avery and Russian River discovered that they each had a beer named Salvation, and they met at an annual Colorado Beer Festival to talk it out. So, Vinny, I'm going to say it, Solurzo? We'll go with you.
Vinny from Russian
You
River.
tried
Vinny
to
from
correct
Russian
me.
River.
You tried to correct me and failed. But yes,
I think Vinny from Russian River.
River. Thank
Russian
you.
River.
Now, I actually have a question here.
Okay.
I read this article, and I believe it says they both had a beer named Salvation.
Yes.
And it says that they blended the beers and called it
Collaboration, not litigation.
But they didn't. I thought it was a different collaboration beer. I didn't know. Like, according to the article, it gives the impression that they basically took both those beers and mixed them.
Actually, that's what I was under the impression, was that it was just a collaboration.
But I thought it was
right.
just a collaboration.
Verbatim in the
two.
article is they combined their beers in a blend and named it collaboration, not litigation.
And I don't believe that's correct.
We don't
Well,
have.
you can blend beers.
Well, right.
I do. You can,
Of course.
But I didn't think
But
that
it's
was
a
made
matter
in
of
that case.
did they?
I don't know. Do you guys know?
Anybody?
I've never had the beer.
I've
I've heard of it
I've had
before.
collaboration.
I was under the impression that they blended them.
Maybe they did. I'm probably wrong. I usually am.
I'll believe the brewers at the table on
Yeah,
that.
probably a good idea. But either way, not to pull the rug out of you.
No, that's
the big
fine.
reveal
That
there
was
at
a
the
much
end.
more interesting way to get to the end of that paragraph.
But yeah, that was a pretty cool thing they did.
Yeah.
The collaboration and litigation.
They mentioned a rather ugly case here from July of 2013, including Lagunitas, their owner Tony McGee, who received a cease and desist order from Sweetwater Brewing Company in Atlanta, demanding that the Northern California Brewing Company stop using the marijuana code 420 in its cryptic artwork because apparently they have trademarked 420. Yeah, so it all comes down to semantics with it. The article goes on and on. There's a lot of legal stuff inside of here, but basically we're coming to a point where we might run out of names for beers unless they hire Wayne.
Yeah. That's
Well,
why I let
either
Wayne
that,
name all
and
my
I did.
beers.
I posted this on our Facebook page that this either does not bode well for libation or fabrication, or it will be a boon because people are going to have to come up with more and more ridiculous names.
Yeah.
To make sure.
I wonder how many words they're going to spell wrong, like hops with a Z.
Like Hobbs. Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah.
Does that matter when it comes to trademarks, though?
I'm not sure. I think that's kind of a gray area.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We should get a lawyer that we can call for this stuff.
Well, we actually
We have
trademark
one.
libation, so you guys
guys are in
can't be
trouble.
using this.
We can't say libation.
Joking.
Everything's got to be cut.
Oh, God.
This entire episode, we got to start over.
All right, well,
And
hi, everybody. Welcome to another episode of Beer Busters.
and I believe AB InBev has trademarked beer.
Oh, God.
Oh,
The
so I,
world's
I
going
was
to
going
hell.
to call them beer 1, beer 2, beer 3. I can't do that
Can't
now.
do that either. No. Beverage one.
Beverage 1, yeah. Alcoholic Beverage 1.
No, Jack Daniel's trademarked alcohol.
Oh, God.
We're all screwed.
Let's move on.
Yes.
You have to use symbols like Prince.
Yes. Steph is loving that one.
I'd like to point out we've had nothing but coffee. So
I know.
far.
I think I might have had a sip of water earlier. Well,
Moving on.
For those who don't like to fly, may I suggest Delta Airlines now, because they began stocking its beverage carts with a selection of regional craft beers to bring local options to customers. The move continues the airline's focus on bringing regional food, wine, and now beer to the in-flight experience. So they're now going to feature beer from Ballast Point out of San Diego, Blue Point Brewing Company out of Long Island, Brooklyn Brewery out of, you guessed it, Brooklyn, Lagunitas, they make another mention here, out of California, Newburyport Brewing Company from Massachusetts, and Sam Adams, as well as Stone, who's out of California. Oh, and Sweetwater, there's another one there.
And
Now-
Southwest now has Fat Tire.
Ooh, there you go.
And I just got 4 free drink vouchers in the mail today.
Whoa.
Yes.
Wow. I would say share them with Rich, but that's not going to... Yeah. But the selection of regional craft beers are available on Delta's West Coast shuttle between L.A. and San Francisco, between Newark LaGuardia and Boston, Washington, Reagan National, and Chicago O'Hare, and the transcontinental routes between New York and JFK and L.A., San Francisco and Seattle. For all other domestic routes, they are going to be serving Sam Adams. So basically, any time you fly on Delta, you'll be able to get Sam Adams.
But not all the others.
Right. Depends on which way you're going.
So plan your route accordingly,
Yes.
people.
Look up the beer list first, and then decide what airline to fly.
Just like you do when you go to a restaurant. You check the tap list first.
I check the food menu first, and then compliment it with the tap list. Anyway, there's something else. I don't have all the details on this one, but Steph showed me this one on my personal Facebook. So, yay. Something that kind of hits home for me, and I wrote an article about it. Gluten-reduced and gluten-free beers. I was hoping that would get Noelle's attention at the end of the table, but no.
She's plugged in.
She's got earbuds in. I don't know what she's doing. She's playing Tiny Tower.
Yeah, probably. There is a new gluten-reduced option coming out of Stone. I believe I have some of the details on here now that I look at my phone. Stone is introducing their Delicious IPA, which is going to be brewed using Brewer's Clerics, as per my article. And you'll be able to see, much like another brand, Omission does, you'll be able to see the gluten levels if you go to their website. There's an Enjoy By date on there, not to be confused with their Enjoy By series.
Right.
But you can see the test options on there. I checked out the first one. Their gluten levels are below 10 parts per million, which falls under the FDA standards for being considered gluten-reduced, borderline gluten-free. I did have tasting notes on here. I don't anymore, but basically look for it in your local bottle shop. Apparently, it's going to be very good, very Stone reminiscent of other IPAs that they have. And it's going to be gluten-friendly for those of us in the world that are straight up allergic or claim to be.
When it comes out, we'll have to have it on the show and have Noelle on
Yes.
and see what she really
We
thinks
can
of
do
it.
a gluten-free episode.
A
should.
gluten-free
That's-
tasting, yeah.
surprised we haven't
Featuring
had this idea
Noelle.
already.
So that's all we really have this week for news, but that means we get to know the gentlemen that are at the table with us. So again, we have John, Mike, and Dane with us from St. Boniface Brewing Company in Ephrata, Pennsylvania. Nice little area out here. And so far, I have only seen the room that we are currently in, but from what I understand, the reception here has been great for you guys. And I'm very excited that we have you guys here with us because I am really looking forward to the beer this year because Steph keeps going on and on about it. I know you love the beer here so dearly, and you're smiling ear to ear as I say that. But that's enough of me talking. Guys, thank you again for sitting down with us and having us out here overall. Now, as far as what you guys do here, do you guys want to kind of go down the line? We'll give everybody a heads up as to what your role is.
Sure.
All right.
Well, I'm Mike Price. I do sales. I do all the office stuff, bookkeeping. I do deliveries right now, and fight with John on a daily basis. Where John and I are both founders here. Dane joined us a little bit later, so.
And I'm John, the other half of the fight. I'm the head brewer.
I.e. the most important person in the room.
Well, it helps
No
to
offense to the
helps
other
to
two.
have beer, but someone needs to sell it. So, yeah, I brew the beer, I schedule it, I package it, and that's my job.
And I do all the social media, events, marketing, fests, things like that. I'm not here on an everyday basis because I have another full-time job that keeps me busy, but during the summer I have a lot more availability that I get here. But in the evenings, weekends, and doing pretty much anything that I can when I can. So.
And how long has St. Boniface been in existence?
Well, it's actually about to be 4 years. February 2nd is a 4-year anniversary. When they opened in February of 2010, how many beers? One beer.
One beer. Gotta start somewhere.
One beer for
and
sale.
how big was the system?
One barrel.
One barrel
A lot of
system.
ones.
One beer on a one barrel system.
Do you
We
want to
had-
talk about the original location a little bit? It was quite
Yeah, because
unique.
this is the second spot, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So the first spot was the basement of an old shoe factory, and it looked like the basement of an old shoe factory. So we had outfitted it with 55-gallon pots, and we had a makeshift cooler that we were using to crash some beer in plastic fermenters that we'd have to wheel them on casters across the room.
Casters that really weren't rated for that
Yeah.
much weight and that were buckling. And
Yeah, so we had a pretty limited space and resources there, but we were able to make it happen.
people kept coming back
Well,
for some
and
reason.
you were making impressive beer. I mean, it was.
Thank you.
Despite the small system, I mean, we Rich and I have close friends that live in Ephrata, and every time we were in town visiting them, we were stopping in at the brewery. I think I have 3
So you
Boniface growlers at home.
So you only visited on Saturdays.
Yeah.
we were only open Saturday for like
Couple hours,
a
yeah.
couple hours, and Thursdays.
Thursday
And then
nights.
added
Sometimes.
Thursday nights.
Yeah.
When you had somebody to fill growlers.
Yeah.
Well, we would usually come Sunday or Saturday as soon as you opened, fill
Yeah.
our growlers, go put them in their fridge, and then go, spend the day, do whatever, and then you had the growlers waiting for you, of course. And now this, holy crap!
So
Yeah, this is an impressive.
this is. But before we get to the new stuff,
Yes.
when did you guys actually move to this location?
Very good question.
2 years ago.
2 years.
Yep, January 1st, 2 years ago.
And did you have you have a tap room here? Did you have a tap room previously, or was this
No.
this was the first?
No, so we were only filling growlers at the old location. We were doing about 50-50 growlers and wholesale kegs at that time. Then when we moved over here, we did the same kind of thing for about 6 months until we got the tap room built, until we got the licensing done and all that. And then in the summer, it was the beginning of June, so when we first opened for taps for pint sales. So
And now, surrounding us, nice and new and shiny.
Yeah, talk about
expanded
the
brewing
new
system.
brew system here. No
Well-
longer one barrel.
No. We're at 15 barrels now. Premier stainless system here, oversized, mashed on. A lot of our beers are pretty big, so we need the extra space to fit all the grain in. We have 30 barrel cellar tanks, our fermenters and bright tank, and our 15 barrel is our offering series, our one-off beers. So it's a little different. One-off beers doing 15 barrels and one barrel at a time. So we can put out about 150 barrels a month now, which is probably what we were putting out like every 6 months at the last place, which was a lot of work.
Well, and to clarify too, it wasn't long before we realized that a one-barrel system was never going to work, and so we bought an old Grundy and cut the top of it off, made a false bottom, clad it with wood, and we built another boil kettle. So we were actually doing 3 barrels at a time for about the last 3 years or so before we made the jump to the 15.
Feels like 15 years.
Yeah.
Yeah, and you can still see that, and I don't know if you got any pictures of it. That's what's still up in our tap room, and we were using that until October. Until October. So when we finally got everything online in here.
Yeah, I mentioned the last time we were here for the Bonifest, we were in this room, and it was like a mess hall. I mean, there's tables set up, people here eating. It was like we were eating where there are now fermenters. Like we're sitting right there.
Yeah, and the band was playing over there.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. So it's a little bit different than last June.
Now, when you guys first came to this location, was this space here part of the decision that you were going to expand into here, or you just got lucky?
I think
that
we
you had
thought.
it?
Yeah,
we thought we'd get there. We never thought we'd be here
This
now.
quickly, yeah.
It was kind of a 5-year plan, but we were like, well, let's get our feet under us, and we'll get the tap room going and see how that goes. And then we started selling pints, and we had to pull back from our accounts, and we're like, we need to make this happen.
Right.
So we started working on our business plan at that point, and
it wasn't long before we just couldn't even sell kegs out of the brewery anymore. It was all going out in pints. Maybe sneak one to somebody here and there, but for the most part, as much as we could make was going out of the tap room. And at that point, we had the ability to go to the bank and say, "Hey, look what we can do," and they were, more than cooperative to get us the cash that we needed to make it happen.
That's always good.
Yeah.
And when did the decision come up to start canning the beers?
Was it back and forth?
it was
for
back
a while?
and forth. I think it still is back and forth.
We're in trouble with that next door room.
Yeah, there's a crap ton of cans over in that next room. How many, John, did you say you have to order at a time?
It's 24 pallets, and there's like 8,000
on a pallet.
Yeah,
It's around
8,000 on a
200,000 cans.
Oh, my God.
So,
If
that's
you didn't
per
walk
brand.
over there, you need to walk over there.
Yeah. I mean, I can see some of it through this.
See a doorway, but
That's all
But
that's in there.
It's that whole area.
It's the whole.
Now, we have a cooler over there, but this whole area is cans.
Wow. So I have a question going back to the transition from the old system to the new system. Like overall, what was that like? I mean, I know it kind of might have been a bear to get some of this in here and get it up and running, but like what effect did it have on the room out front or any distribution that you had?
Well, because we were in this area, we could do construction in here and not interrupt the flow of things over there. But at the same time, we still had to keep whatever was going on over there and get this up and running.
Fortunately, we had brought Nate on as our cellarman. So we had a guy who was working full time as a cellarman, and he could brew while we were down here working. So that, and we did all the work in here ourselves. I mean, we had contractors in to do a couple things, but for the most part, we did it all ourselves. Wow. So yeah, I was full time hanging commercial wall covering. I've been doing that for 20 years. So this summer I was kind of doing that and doing this, and making this happen. And then when John had time, he'd come over and put some pipes together and stuff like that. So it was
Some pipes.
yeah, that's all he did.
That's all it takes.
So overall, it was a lot of work, but it worked, and we were able to keep enough beer to keep that going up there, and that was the goal, just to keep our normal beers on until we could get up and going over here, and then.
And luckily, as always, there's delays in getting things in, and it kept on getting pushed back.
Oh,
and
yeah.
you know how.
So the June start date ended up being
Yes.
October.
October,
Yeah.
right?
So how was the transition with the beers and the recipes going from the old system to this fancy new shiny big system? Do you have any issues maintaining the beer?
I didn't. I had worked with another brewer a couple of years ago, trying to work out my recipes and in anticipation to scale them up. So I basically had a lot of that already figured out, and I just had to do a little bit of tweaking. But knock on wood, everything's worked out pretty well so far. So.
And you want to talk about the two beers that you chose to put into cans and why you chose to put those two?
Well, they're our best sellers. That's it's pretty much the reason for it. I mean, IPA is our number one seller, and Hegemony is a pretty close second. But I'm a little hesitant to put the stout in a can. I'm not sold on that yet.
Oh, I think it would sell quite well.
Yeah, that's the question right now. Everybody's asking, "Oh, what's next in cans? What's next in cans?" Well, there's a lot of cans we have to fill first before we go.
Yeah,
Next
and
in
if-
cans is more of what's
If
already.
you have to order that many cans, is it even realistic for you to have a third beer in cans? Where would you put the cans?
It is. We would actually have to rent a trailer and keep them outside.
out there, yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, that'd be. I mean, that's all. That's the only thing we can come up with to do that's functional. I mean, to find warehousing and then have to go break down pallets and truck them over. I mean, that's what we would have to do.
Logistically, it'd be very difficult.
And actually,
we can get an elevator and build on top.
there you go.
There you go.
To clarify something else, what's even crazier about that amount of cans is that's not even the minimum order. We had to pay an upcharge
to go down to that amount.
Because the minimum order is 24 pallets of one brand. So we
my
got
gosh.
we split it.
12 and 12.
Yeah.
Wow.
So yeah, it's people. I mean, the amount of cans that you have to buy to do this is really kind of crazy.
Yeah. Wow.
So where can people get the cans? I know Lancaster County, Berks County, you've had a few events this week, can release parties. Where can people find them?
Well, when we first did the first run, our ideas was we were just going to keep selling them here. We're going to start selling them here, just because we wanted to keep an eye on like QC and make sure everything was good. And then so we did 6-pack sales in the tap room, and then we would do Saturday morning case sales here, and then now we're going to start to get out into bottle shops. So the Fridge in Lancaster was our first event for that, and our first spot for can sales, and then Barley Mow in Reading on Wednesday, which we saw you guys at. And the only other place right now is the Gin Mill in Lebanon, which just has a couple cans for in-house or carry out. But in the next couple weeks, and as we do our next round of canning, our anticipation is to hit some more bars, bottle shops, things like that, and just see how it goes.
So it's quite exclusive right now. You can get out there and get them. Very cool. And I love the new pint glasses you guys have. Last night at the Barley Mow, they were giving away free pint glasses with a purchase of a growler fill or a 6-pack of the Boniface beers, and really neat.
We thought about this idea, and I don't know if it was you or if it was John or Mike who came up with the idea about, we actually just designed that. We got that glass just for like events. We don't even sell them here at the brewery.
Wow. So
we're just using them for promotional events and going out and pint nights and giveaways. So just something to hopefully draw some people in to get something different and something they can't buy here.
Yeah.
So.
But do you
So
guys
if you want
sell?
a glass, show up.
Do you guys sell pint glasses and such here?
We do.
Yeah, we have a limited amount of merchandise. It's something that's always on the back burner. But we do have
People don't come here for T-shirts.
no. there's a million other things ahead of it. But yeah, we do sell branded pint glasses, in our full color logo, like in the back. They're one-sided, right?
No, they have both.
They have them
logos.
both on?
Yeah.
Okay, sorry, I don't even remember.
It's not like you're marketing
Sorry.
or anything.
Yeah. Well, we're almost out of them.
Get them while you can.
Snap.
Exclusive.
So, let's briefly talk about the tap room before we wrap up the interview here. Great opportunity for people to come. You always have food trucks here locally. You have bands here. What can people expect when they come?
We're kind of limited a little bit with some of our hours here because of our zoning variances through Ephrata. So we're open till 9 in the evening on Tuesdays and Wednesdays we're 4 to 9. Thursdays, Fridays, and Saturdays we're open 11 to 9. And on the weekends we like to try to do a rotation of food trucks. So tonight we have Rocky's Barbecue out there, and then as we look through it, we try to do something different every week. So our kind of philosophy is you get the same beer every time, but it's a different restaurant. You can kind of think of it like that. You can come in, grab a pint, fill a growler, grab a 6-pack, whatever you want to do here in the tap room. And we try to do music about once a month. In fact, there's it'll be too late for air date, but we have a show tomorrow night, and then we do one a month. And we just started doing a trivia. November was our first. A guy who's a regular here, Steve Schaefer. He does a trivia game up the road, and he says, I want to do it. You guys do it down here, and we had a good response the first month we did it, and then last month it was kind of in combination with the holiday, but it was crazy in here the night we did that. So we want to kind of keep that going. I think we have a definite crowd who wants to come for that. So it's something different. And
people love trivia.
Yeah.
I like the food.
They do.
Yeah. I love the food truck idea. Walking in, I saw the barbecue truck out there, and mouth immediately watered.
You're like a dog.
Pretty much. Well, you put barbecue in front of me. Yeah, I
You
am.
should have seen when we were here at the Bonifest. There was it was pastries or cupcakes or
The cupcake truck.
Oh,
yeah, I forget what it was
What?
called. I don't
Yeah.
remember.
They
But shout
look
out to them.
Yeah,
I wish
Sugar
I could-
Whipped.
Sugar,
Sugar
Sugar
Whipped,
Whipped.
that's
All right,
it.
shout out to them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah,
good.
they're they live right down the street here, and they come here pretty often. So we like to have her when she come in when we do some bigger events. Yeah.
And she actually uses hegemony in some of her cupcakes.
Cupcakes.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
Oh, wow.
yeah.
That's pretty awesome.
Her maple bacon stout cupcake is
What?
awesome. It's awesome.
perked up with that
Yeah.
one?
I'm in.
Yeah.
Barbecue and then that for dessert.
There you go.
See,
There
it
you
all
go.
works out.
Maybe
Are you
she
going to
could
do
do-
another itinerary
Maybe do
like
a-
you did at Conshohocken?
Yeah.
I haven't gone back and filled that itinerary, though.
We could do a cupcake and beer pairing show. Have her on.
There you go.
Sounds pretty good.
She has to bring the maple bacon one.
Wow, that goes without saying.
Yeah. She can bring nothing else. Just bring that.
Just bring that.
Yeah.
They are awesome, honestly.
I believe it.
But you guys have any big events coming up?
Well, we're
Talk
gonna do. We're not gonna do anything huge for our 4th anniversary, but we're gonna do something on that day. Whether it is, hopefully, I think we're lining up a beer release for that day. Probably, maybe a firkin. Sorry, I had to see what kind of look I got from him. And as long as I come down and clean the firkin, that's what usually the answer that I get. Which I have done.
Yes.
Don't say I haven't.
They're not fun to clean
no.
out.
And then probably run something through our makeshift infuser Randall. I don't want to get in trouble by Dogfish Head by saying Randall, but it's a John.
The Bondle?
Yeah.
Bonadol?
I don't know, but when was it? It was our official grand opening party a few years back. The day before, he comes in, he says, "Hey, what do you think about building a Randall?" I'm like, "Okay, for when?" He's like, "No, for tomorrow." And the night before, you had looked up all the parts you needed for the internet. We went to the hardware store, and he built a Randall. So
Nice.
yeah, we don't use it too often, but we try to do it for some special events. So hopefully we'll be able to get that up and running for that.
That too is fun to clean.
Yeah. Said no one.
We'll also be doing Bonifest again.
Oh yeah.
Yay.
in June.
That
Beginning of
was an
June.
awesome event.
Yeah.
So we're not sure exactly what shape that's going to take, but I think it'll be a lot bigger than last year.
That's what we're hoping.
Cool.
lots of things up in the air for that. We're thinking of hopefully closing the whole parking lot and doing a number of bands, and we'll see how all the plans develop and what we're allowed to do and not allowed to do.
You're supposed to ask.
Yeah.
You just brew the beer. Let them.
When the cops show up, he's the brewer. No, that's right.
Dean and Mike go hide.
Yeah.
The cops already said yes.
Yeah. Okay. Yes, that's right. Yeah.
That's awesome. Well, guys, thank you again for sitting down with us. And now that we get to know you, let's get to know the beer.
Beer me! Beer me! Beer me! Beer me!
So, John, what are we drinking first?
Well, the first one we're drinking is the ESB. This is our classic English style, somewhat sessionable beer. It's a little high. It's about 4.8, I believe. I haven't seen...
Well, the paper says 4.5, so
Okay.
that would count.
It's 4.5 then.
Lou Bryson would be okay with that.
Okay, well that's good. It's brewed with, we use Pilsner as our base, which I guess really isn't that classical English style.
Or English.
Yeah. And we use Crystal 65 for most of our flavoring in the malt bill. The single hop with East Kent Golding, and that's it.
Yeah.
And it's not bitter.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No.
No.
We got a lot of.
Yeah.
We
Festivals
hate
are.
taking this beer to festivals.
People still think that?
Yes.
Wow.
Oh,
I
it's
don't want that.
constant.
It's bitter.
Actually, we have a little whiteboard that we made, and so we were set up. It was stouts. It was the last one we did, and we have like 2 8.5 by 11 displays of what the beer is and a little description and stuff, and then we have a whiteboard for extra information. And I ended up writing with a marker in big letters, "Not bitter," drew an arrow because it was just like everybody walks up and goes, "Oh, it's bitter. I want that one." It's like, no, that's the one you actually want,
Yeah,
because
yeah.
it's not bitter.
Wow, that's wow.
It's like reverse psychology.
Well, they don't want it because it's not doesn't have a lot of alcohol.
Well, that's
true.
When you have
too.
the beer
At
fest,
a beer fest,
You
yeah.
do get that, yeah.
Like, what's
You
the
get-
hoppiest thing?
I was gonna-
What has the
What's
most
your
alcohol?
hoppiest beer? What's got the most alcohol? Or do you have any fruit beers?
Yeah.
Or
Then you give them a
anything
beer
that's
to
not
taste,
dark.
and they go,
Yeah.
Not dark.
Anything that's not dark.
Yeah. How many beers do you have? 2? Okay, 1. Okay.
Yeah, you don't even taste it at that point. It's just opening down.
It's getting my money's worth, right?
Yeah, exactly. Speaking of tasting, though, this is a very delicious beer.
It really is.
It's you have in your notes here. It's a great beer to introduce craft beer to the unconverted, which I think is true, and I think it's also a great beer to introduce us to our tasting of your beers today. But yeah, it's really solid ESB.
Yeah,
It's got that
great.
nice caramely malty.
And great to pair
character
with
that you want.
food, too.
Yeah, this would
It's
go
gonna
really well.
complement
with
Would
good
you
Food,
say
not
it would
overwhelm.
complement barbecue?
I would
go
go with the
outside and
pale
try.
ale.
Yeah, I would go with
Yeah.
pale ale with the barbecue.
This is
Pale
great
ale
with
in the
fish and
can.
chips.
Ooh.
Yeah.
There you go.
There you go.
You've used
That
it
would
to make
make
fish and chips.
sense. It's the English style with
Bangers
the
and mash.
Bangers and mash.
You just wanted to say bangers.
I did. Any excuse I can have to say bangers and mash. It doesn't happen often, but
Wayne,
when
do
I
you,
can.
do you want a banger in your mouth?
Wow. We're halfway through
We're
our
there
first
already?
sample.
I know, I know.
Of course, Dan's is empty already.
Well, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's
pitcher's
more.
not.
The pitcher's not empty.
Oh, as Steph hands the whole... I'm just going to chug out of the pitcher.
No, you're not.
No, I can't do that. But it is very, very, very delicious. And as the page says, it's very drinkable with low alcohol, which I can see this being more or less a session beer for some people. And
Not
I
by
like
Dan's
it.
standards.
Not by my...
because
No.
it's less than 10. But
I mistakenly, before I knew anything about beer, called a 13% beer sessionable because I really liked the way it tasted.
so we've never let him live
didn't
it
understand what session.
And it was recorded, so yeah, I don't get to live that down. But
I was going to say that'll live on forever.
Oh,
yeah,
it will.
But I can definitely drink this all day. This is really good.
I like that it has the caramely flavor to it without being really sweet. And it does
Yes.
have that nice. It's not bitter, but it's it's not overly sweet. It's really good.
John does. They're not. It's not on our tasting list, and it's not a regular beer for us. But in the past, we've brewed. John's brewed a beer for the Bull's Head in Lidditz called Bull's Head Bitter,
right? Yep.
and he also did Bull's Head Mild, which actually both of those are like two of our favorite beers. And it's going to be hard to brew them. Very often or ever, right? Just because of our the size of the what's that?
We're gonna brew them, I'm sure.
Oh, I thought you were shaking your head like no.
So did I.
Good. I know. All right. Good.
It was like a nod and a shake, and a nod and a shake.
No is and yes.
You just need more fermenters, right?
Correct.
Right.
Yeah. Put a cot here. You can brew constantly. Just buy him more fermenters.
Actually, he hardly brews at all anymore.
I don't know what to do with myself most of the time.
Yeah.
He's not joking either.
No.
He really needs more fermenters.
Yeah, no, definitely.
That's exactly
because
what
you brew twice and you fill this giant thing, and then that's got to sit for 4 weeks. So we need more tanks.
Which is
Didn't you
different.
just brew a lager too?
Yeah.
You let that sit like 8 weeks?
Yeah.
You want to take a vacation?
Actually, yeah.
Going somewhere?
Yeah, he is.
Brewer wants to take a vacation.
I was supposed to
he's
be on
brewing.
vacation tonight, but I had a packaged beer today.
Yeah.
How many cans do you fill in at one time?
Today we did 4,600. Just under 200 cases.
Yeah.
4,600. And how long? 6 hours? 8 hours?
8 hours.
Yeah.
Well, 8 hours to actually package, and then there's cleanup,
Clean up, lunch, all that. It wasn't bad. We started about 6, and if we would have had all the help we were supposed to have.
Those people's alarms, Nate, if you're listening.
Called out on the podcast.
No, but I think
They'll appreciate that.
Yeah. We actually
You said my name.
we have an absolutely terrific staff, and a couple of our except for Nate. A couple of our
He's just awesome.
A couple of our bartenders actually come in for several hours throughout the process and help, so it's great.
That's cool.
And we probably, if we had it humming from the beginning, we probably would have been done by 1:30. Yeah.
I was about to say that would be a kind of
next
short
time.
day, but if you're starting at 6, never mind.
Yeah.
John mashes in at about 5 a.m. So he's got the bags under his eyes right now. I think this is your bedtime right now.
So back in when we were on the other system, I was mashing in at 2 in the morning, do double mashes, and then I could be done and out of here.
Yeah, because on Thursdays the tap room opens at 11, so he'd want to be done by 11, cleaned up and out of there.
Yeah.
So.
But at the old location, you were known to brew triple batches. And he was, when I was helping out during the summer, I'd come in and he'd be on his second mash, and he'd still have one more to go. And I don't know how many hours you were sleeping at that time, but it was very little.
I don't remember.
Yeah. He doesn't remember 2 years of his life. They're gone.
Pretty much.
Did you ever see your family?
I did. They actually, my kids were homeschooled, so they would come in and visit me throughout the day.
Oh, nice. Oh,
that's cool.
Field trip.
Yeah. Sometimes that's fun. Not when you're trying to cast out and there's water all over the floor and the kids are running around. Stop!
What does this do?
You have 4 children, right?
Yes.
Any future brewers there? Or will you discourage that?
I won't discourage that. It's up to them. I don't know. I don't know which one will follow in the footsteps.
Yeah. So you're not training one of them secretly right now?
No. My oldest son, he's interested in it, but he's interested in a lot of things.
Yeah.
So we'll let him figure that one out for himself.
All right. So what's happening next?
Yeah, I'm excited for the next one.
Now we're going on to Paideia.
I was wondering how you said that one. Paideia.
Yeah.
Yeah. We accept Paideia.
I think I pronounce it differently every time.
Padilla.
Yeah. It's
Do we want to do these side
Tyler
by
Perry's
side?
Padilla.
yeah. If you let me crack
Crackers
some of
gonna
those
do
up.
cans.
On tapping in a can. There's one thing I am not good at. This is tapping.
Thank you.
Is when I'm doing side by sides, remembering which
is which.
I'm terrible. I'm like, wait a minute, wait.
So where did you put it? In the front?
Can tap.
Okay.
Can tap because I can
four
tap.
different levels.
Yeah, it works. And then I'll forget what I'll still
But then
forget.
you'll drink the one up. And you're like, oh,
written on the glass. I don't know.
Upon sight and smell, they're
All right, so
exactly
it would
the
make
same.
sense to start with the tap first
would it, John?
Yes.
because the can
Yes.
is new.
Yes.
Okay, so this was the tap.
I didn't check the keg dates, but I would assume they're the same batch.
You got
okay.
this from
Well, I didn't mean new as in a newer, but I just meant
no,
the can
yeah.
is a new thing. Yeah.
Right. Oh, absolutely. But that was a question we had at the fridge event. They had both of them on tap, and they had the cans, and they were encouraging people to taste them. And somebody had asked us, were they from the same dates? And they were
right.
probably filled 12 hours apart of one another or something like that.
This is such a good beer. This is what I was
Yeah, I don't care
drinking
where it came from. It's
on
delicious.
Wednesday.
Whether it came out of a
really
tap or
is.
the can,
Such a good
this is a really good one. So
You
this
taste
is
the difference?
I smell a difference.
But that's all right. You forgot. You have to introduce this one.
Oh yes.
Yeah, do your duty.
Well, this is our pale ale. Once again, it's a single hop with Citra. Just Pilsner base again. Do a little bit of Munich and throw some wheat in for some body, a little bit of head retention, and Care Vienna is another flavor in there.
I think I do get a little more hop aroma from the can.
Yeah, I agree.
The taste definitely is, I think, consistent
Yeah.
across the two, but
Super subtle though.
yeah, it's a subtle difference, but it's a little bit. And it may also be just because the tap was poured in the pitcher and then carried out in that
Yeah,
time,
it was
and we
sitting
just
there
opened
just
the can.
for-
Yeah, but yeah, I mean, taste wise, it's completely consistent.
And you use Citra,
Citra, yeah. Well, most of my beers are
single hop.
and very light on specialty malts. Try to keep everything simple. It seems to work out.
Yeah. Good, clean, tasty beers.
This wasn't originally the pale ale. It's made quite a dramatic shift about two years ago. And some places we're still trying to get it changed. In some places it's listed as an English pale ale. It was what? It was.
An English pale ale.
It wasn't.
before.
Yeah. It wasn't. It wasn't.
What'd you use before?
Well, the malt bill is pretty similar to what it is now. We used Magnum for bittering at that point, and I can't remember what we finished it off with.
I don't remember.
I think we finished it with Fuggles or something.
So it was a real English pale ale, and it was getting.
It was a good English pale ale, but it's not a really big style, like a popular style that people really flock to. So figured, we should have a pale ale in our lineup. Let's try Citra. Everyone likes that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's like Citra.
Yeah.
Obviously.
So what's the story behind the name? It's one of the more unique names on your list.
Yeah, you know how you were saying earlier that it's hard to come up with names?
Yes.
Well, since we're so pretentious, we find it very easy to come up with new names.
We just looked at classical literature.
Yeah, exactly. Actually, paideia is a Greek word for enculturation. So it's like in the Greek world, it was the training of the complete Greek man. So to be a Greek. I don't know. So we just like the idea of culture. Changing culture, creating culture, and beer is culture.
Right.
So
I don't think you can say that.
I'm sorry, 21st Amendment. No, is it 6 points?
6 points.
Sorry about that. So yeah, I mean, so that's kind of how we came up with it.
Very cool. You need to get these cans to some local arenas and ballparks. This would be a
Oh,
great
yeah.
sports beer. Sports.
Yeah, no, I could see this going well at a baseball game or something. Absolutely.
Delicious.
Yeah, nice hop profile, nice crispiness, crisposity.
Yeah.
And now
Yeah.
you need to go get some barbecue and
I was
see
just
if
gonna say, yeah.
John's recommendation holds true.
All right,
I
are
feel
we,
like this would go.
are we taking a barbecue pause?
This would go great with some barbecue.
Yeah, right.
No, but it is very clean and crisp and easy drinking. and delicious. I really like this.
Yeah, me too. And now there's a third one that is in front of us. What might that one be?
I'm just saying.
It's
Usually
3 pound,
I
John.
drink these. Usually I drink these.
I was
beers
going
so
to let
fast.
your
Dane, I was
cue,
gonna let
John.
Dane
No.
introduce that one
No,
because
no,
you're the
no.
one that came up with the name.
Oh, wow.
Any excuse to not have to talk.
Yes.
Absolutely.
I'll talk after you introduce it. Go ahead.
Well, this is 3 pound IPA, and guess what? This one is single hopped with Cascade. Oh, that was my knee. We actually, I actually put 3 pounds of Cascade in the kettle when I was doing single barrel brews. That's when I came up with this recipe. And as the recipe grew, I figured, the hops would kind of settle back, and we'll be putting 3 pounds per barrel. And here we are today, and we're still putting 3 pounds per barrel.
Wow.
So when you're doing 30 barrels in a fermenter, you go through quite a bit of hops.
Wow.
So luckily, we have a good contract for next year. But
Or in the future, it might have to be 3 pounds of something else.
yeah,
Which
it might be,
Still call it
3 pound 3 ways.
It's a
right?
good
There you go.
Do a 3 pound
Good series.
of
Yeah,
single hops.
absolutely.
Yeah, there you go.
do a 3 pound recipe with Citra. See what that.
You
how
can
that
use
comes
these
out.
ideas
Yeah,
for
right.
royalties.
Just like you're going to sell all your beer names from the.
Oh, yeah, right.
Yeah, absolutely,
Yeah.
absolutely.
I
Trademark.
cheated and took a sip of this already.
I've-
My god,
Yeah, it's
this
really
is
good.
amazing.
This is really
I don't think
good.
I've ever had an IPA that was this smooth. And I'm not just using that as my go-to word. It's very a subtle hoppiness, but it's still there the way an IPA should have it. It's
And
great.
it does allow some of the sweetness to still come through.
Mhm.
And,
I'm getting a lot of cantaloupe, and I'm
Yeah,
loving
you
it.
are getting a melon. Yeah, a melon.
Yeah.
character.
Cantaloupe.
Yeah.
I over the last couple weeks, I've started saying that, and I was like, I don't know where it came from. I don't like cantaloupe either, but
This
I
is
did.
good
I mentioned,
cantaloupe.
I mentioned that to you the other day, or somebody the other day, and the other week, and I was like, oh my gosh, it's just coming out like I don't know where it's coming.
Yeah, there is like a melon.
Yeah.
Yeah, there
I
definitely is.
sometimes think honeydew.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think it's somewhere. I'm thinking somewhere between cantaloupe and honeydew.
I always get them confused. So.
Seriously,
Wait,
Come
this
up-
is
come
what
up
you
with
were
a name
saying
for
was
that.
I'm thinking like
watermelon,
80%.
Cantamelon,
Cantamelon, cantaloupe,
honeylope.
honeylope,
Honeylope.
honeylope.
Yeah, you
Or
get the cantaloupe, and then you get the sweetness right at the end.
honey, I cantaloupe.
Yeah.
The kids.
Now, 10 episodes from now, you need to use that in
Yeah, my-
vibrate. I can't remember the name of the game, libation or fabrication or whatever, and see if we actually remember.
Okay, I'll work on that.
Because we probably won't remember.
No, probably not.
I think of all the beers, we would all agree with this. Of all the beers on the new system, this one is changed the most. But we brewed it when he brewed it. We all started tasting, and we're like, "That's different," but we're not changing it. Like
Right.
it came
Yeah,
out like a
that's
different good.
Really good.
Well, this is more reminiscent of the first
original
batches.
stuff, yeah.
on the
Yeah.
single barrel.
So just tell people that's what you're doing. You're a
Going back-
throwback to the
throwback.
original.
Throwback 3 pounds.
You did it on
Yeah.
purpose.
Yes.
I really, I
Well, by
like.
accident, everything's on purpose.
That's right.
Yeah, there you go. I really like that the bitterness doesn't linger too much. It, for lack of a better term, cleans up after itself.
Yeah.
And I think as you get further along, I'm getting a little bit of a floral character to it in there with the melon.
I can see it.
I usually
melon.
just tell people I taste hops.
Yeah.
I'll let you
Hops.
describe that.
You guys, figure it out from there.
Well, now that we have a little bit of beer in us, why don't we move on to whatever Wayne has planned? Wayne, what do we have?
Everybody's favorite segment of the show.
Libation or fabrication?
Yes.
Hey!
Welcome to the never-ending well of raw, unfiltered awesome that is Happy Fun Time Games. Drink deeply of the nectar of wisdom and be gifted with beer education unequaled in the realm of mortal men. Bathe in the waters of enlightenment and slight intoxication, and be enraptured in the glory of divine fermentertainment. Your soul will be enriched, your mind will be unchanged, and you'll answer a couple of trivia questions, maybe learn something, and hopefully have a bit of a laugh. Today we will be playing, as Dan alluded to, the tried and true, the short and sweet, the continuation of the beer education of the Beer Buster Nation, libation or fabrication. You all know how this game works. The craft beer world has a long and storied history of amusing, absurd, and occasionally completely ridiculous beer names From spleen cleaver to meat whistle to purple monkey dishwasher, I have chosen a few of these remarkable monikers and mixed in a few innovations from my very own thinking bits. You must decide what's really real or fakey fake. We'll alternate who goes first, and after exhaustive research and focus grouping, it has been determined that the best place to begin is to my left.
Yeah, focus group my ass.
With Dan. So you need to tell me, Dan, is this beer real or fake? This beer is called Heavyweight Tickle Fight Champion of the World. Is that real or fake?
I want it to be real so bad, but I have a feeling it's not. I'm going fake.
You're going fake? All right. Steph, what do you think?
Real.
Steph is saying it's real. Mike, what's your answer?
Real.
All right. Mike's saying real. John?
I'm going with real.
You're going with real as well. And finally, Dane?
I'm thinking real because I know there used to be a brewery named Heavyweight.
Okay, you're going real because you know there used to be a brewery named Heavyweight. Fair enough. It is, in fact, real. It is a big old 12% American barley wine aged in Jack Daniel barrels by Solemn Oath Brewery, not by Heavyweight. It's by Solemn Oath Brewery. It was a limited release. It's a caramely, syrupy, brown, sugary beast that apparently has honed its tickle fetish into a world-class competition dominance. And it pairs well with pork belly, aged Stilton, and dulce de leche. Heavyweight Tickle Fight Champion of the World is a mouthful and a real beer. Moving on to Steph.
Or is it a mouthful of a real beer?
It's a mouthful of real beer.
Wow.
Is this real or fake, Steph? This beer is called Tramp Stamp.
Real.
Steph is saying that's real. Mike, what do you think?
I'll go fake.
You'll go fake on Tramp Stamp. John, what's your answer?
Well, real.
You're going to go real. Dane?
Real.
Dane's saying real. Finally, Dan?
Real. I'm going
real. And the reals have it. It is a really real beer. The only one who had it wrong was Mike. It is a 7% Belgian IPA by Clown Shoes. None other than. Like a stamp on a tramp, this beer is about not-so-subtle seduction. Soft but complex malts, Chambly yeast, sweet orange peel, Columbus, Amarillo, and Centennial hops have merged to create a bodacious Belgian IPA. Tramp Stamp by Clown Shoes is a really real beer. Moving on, and Mike's going to go first on this one. And this beer is entitled Unbridled Fury and Ponies. Is that real or fake?
If it's not real, it should be.
If it's not real, it should be.
Yep, real.
So you're saying it's real. Okay, Mike says it's real. John, what's your answer?
Fake.
John is saying it's fake. Okay, Dane, what's your answer?
I think it's fake.
You think it's fakey fake, Dan?
That sounds like you. I'm going fake.
It sounds like me. You're going fake. All right, finally, Steph.
No, I have to say fake too. It does kind of sound like
You're going to say fake? Okay, Steph, Dan, and John are correct. It is, in fact, fake.
All
It
right.
is not
I
a
said
beer.
fake too.
Wait,
You did-
Dean said fake too.
Oh, I'm sorry. Yes.
It's
you are
good I
correct as
take
well.
notes.
Points for everyone.
You
I'm
got
gonna
it.
stand up for myself.
No, you're right.
Mike said real.
Yeah. Mike's the ultimate loser.
Whoever said it was fake is correct. It's not a beer, but it is an amusing series of words. Unbridled Fury may not be the most appropriate thing to combine with ponies, but the internet has certainly done far worse things with them. Moving along, and John is going to go first on this one, and this beer is called Big Dick's Old Ale. Is that real or fake?
Real.
He's saying that's real. Dan, what's your answer?
Real.
You're saying that's real. Dan?
Real.
Dan says real. Steph?
Real.
Real. And rounding it out with Mike.
Real.
Real. Everybody said real. Everybody is correct. It's an 8.8% old ale by Arcadia Ales. It's truly a beer for the ages. This is going to be hard to read without giggling. Big Dick's Old Ale matures gracefully in the cellar as fruity estery flavors and mineral notes emerge while the hop bitterness gradually subsides. Delightful on its own or as a digestif with a hand-rolled cigar, Big Dick's is a delicious pairing for hearty food and cigars alike. Big Dick's Old Ale is absolutely real. And moving on to our final beer, and Dane is going to go first on this one, and this beer is called All About That Brett. About that Brett. About that Brett. Or just one. Real. You're going to say it's real. Dan, what do you think?
It's too new. I'm going fake.
You're going fake,
That's what
okay?
I'm thinking too. I'm
Steph,
gonna say fake.
okay. Steph's saying fake. Mike?
I'll go fake.
You'll go fake as well. And finally, John.
Real.
Oh, John is saying it's real. John and Dane are wrong.
Oh, yes!
Everyone else is correct. It is fake.
Here's my reasoning on that. If it took them this long to get goddamn hops made,
That's true.
all about that bass ain't gonna have anything
All
soon.
about that, Brett, will be
That
10
was,
years from now.
That was pretty clever. Clever reasoning, I gotta say.
After a song or something?
Yeah,
Yes.
all about that, Brett. All about that, Brett.
It's a good thing you don't know.
It is actually it's a song, and it's also a terrible and tired meme joke. And I am ashamed to have participated in it. I did in a previous episode. I refuse to apologize for getting "Wake Me Up Before You Go" stuck in your head.
Wake me up
But
before you go.
I am truly sorry for this one. So I'm going to let Steph
Was
tell
that
me who
real or
won.
fake?
That was fake.
Let's
I'm gonna-
tell you who won.
Because obviously I am terrible at keeping score. So it's looking like our big winner today.
Double check the math. This was her
is-
math. Double check it.
Hold on.
You don't believe me?
This is
to
a
recount.
conflict of interest.
Recount my ass.
Steph has declared herself the winner.
No, I think you're right. Let me
Yeah,
say that again. All right, so our
right.
big winner today.
Wait, Wake Me Up Before You Goza is a real beer.
I know, but it was in a previous version of this.
Oh,
game.
you said it was fake. Strange way. So sorry you can't take it.
Oh, I thought you were. I'm sorry. I thought you were asking about this one yet.
No,
I have no idea what's going on.
I won. That's what's going on.
Steph won with 5 points, a perfect score.
Wow.
Coming in just behind in a three-way tie for second looks like Dan, John, and Dane. And sitting at the bottom with 3 points, not nothing, is Mike.
Not nothing.
Thank you for enjoying another rousing game of libation or fabrication.
That was
It just proved that Mike gets out less than I do.
That's right. Well, with 6 kids instead of 4, that might happen.
wow.
Maybe you
Wait,
should
you
get
have
out more.
6 kids.
Yes.
Oh my god.
Yeah, that'll
Wow.
How many do you have, Dane?
0.
You don't need any.
All right. Well, if I am not mistaken, we have part 2 in a very important series. But first, we have to do this.
No. Your beers. No. Know your beers.
Steph, what do we have?
So, as Dan alluded to, back in episode 47, we talked about the importance of choosing the proper glassware for your beer. Remember, a glass that promotes a healthy foam head may enhance the trapping of certain volatiles. Last time we talked about the flute glass and the goblet. Let's talk today about the good old mug, the Seidel or Stein. A mug is a heavy, sturdy, and large, complete with a handle. The best part of using a mug is that you can clink them together with some serious effort, and they hold lots of beer. Seidel is a German mug, while a Stein is a stone equivalent that is traditionally featured with a lid. The benefits, they're easy to drink out of and holds plenty of volume. Used with these beer styles: American ales and lagers, Baltic porters, black and tan, bock, steam beer, chili beer, cream ale, Czech Pilsner, Doppelbock, English ales, Euro, dark lager, ESB, fruit and vegetable beers, German Pilsner, herb spice beers, Irish dry stout, Irish red ale, Keller beer, Maibach, Hellesbach, a Märzen, milk or sweet stout, oatmeal stout, Rauch beer, Roggen beer, Scottish ale, Scottish Groot, Vienna lager, and wit beer. Pretty much any beer you want to put in
or
a
just
Stein,
beer.
just put it in a
It
Stein.
might have been better to do the ones you shouldn't put in there.
Yeah.
Touche. The Pilsner glass is a typically tall, slender glass, tapered, 12 ounces, shaped like a trumpet at times, that captures the sparkling effervescence and color while maintaining a head. A pokal, or pokel, I'm not sure how to pronounce it, sorry people, is a European Pilsner glass with a stem. The benefits: it showcases the color, clarity, and carbonation of the beer while promoting head retention. Used with American lagers and light lagers, Bock, steam beer, Czech Pilsner, Doppelbock, Euro lagers, German Pilsner, Japanese rice lager, Maibach, Hellesbach, Munich Dunkel lager, Munich Helles lager, Schwarzbier, Vienna lager, and a wit beer. Finally, the good old pint glass. It's a near cylindrical glass with a slight taper and wide mouth. There are 2 standard sizes, the 16-ounce U.S. tumbler and the 20-ounce Imperial Nonic, which has a slight ridge towards the top. A grip of sorts that helps in stacking them. The 20-ounce version is preferred to accommodate more beer or beers with large crowning heads. A Becker is the German equivalent, tapering at the top. Benefits: they're cheap to make, easy to store, and easy to drink out of. Used with pretty much any American ale or lager, Baltic porter, Berliner Weiss, steam beer, chili beer, cream ale, English ales, Euro, dark lager, ESB, export stout, fruit vegetable beers, herb spice beers, Irish dry stout, Märzen, milk stout, oatmeal stout, old ale, pumpkin ale, Russian imperial stout, rye beer, Saison, Scotch Ale, Scottish Ale, Scottish Groot, Smoked Beer, Winter Warmer, and Wit Beer.
Did you say Groot?
Groot. Well, that's all for now. We'll talk about more examples of proper glassware in future installments of Know Your Beer, and thanks to our friends at Beer Advocate for this helpful information.
Because of this series, I'm realizing that pouring all of my bottles of beer into my pint glasses is wrong. So thank you, Steph.
It's okay, but
It's okay. It's okay,
okay.
Dan.
Not all of us were able to get such an awesome beer tasting
Oh,
glass
yes,
set
I've
for
heard about
Christmas.
this
I did
Christmas
get a
gift.
beer glass set for Christmas. That's
Yeah,
pretty
I should have
awesome,
taken it.
Bro-
I had it in my hands for like 5 minutes. I should have just ran.
Brian, my brother, your cousin, he was up at Left Hand and got a stout glass from Left Hand. It's really neat. That's one I don't have yet. I have the new IPA glass, but I don't have the stout glass.
I think I had something from them on Nitro not too long ago. and it
Probably
was
the milk
so
stout.
Good.
Speaking
Amazing.
of mugs,
Amazing.
amazing. Well, you can also use mugs.
Amazing.
You can also use mugs for, which I did
Coffee.
just the other day. Is beer, like a half-liter beer mug that we got from the Sly Fox goat race last year. I brewed coffee in the morning, went to go to work, realized I had left my coffee thermos at work the day before, so I poured it in the half-liter mug and took that with me, and it worked fine.
You took your half-liter mug to work with
Yes.
coffee?
Yes.
That's pretty badass.
That is awesome.
Yeah.
Nice.
So now that Steph pointed out that I'm beering wrong, let's have a little more beer.
Beer me! Beer me! Beer me! Beer me!
And yes, beer is now over. But anyway, we have 2 glasses in front of us. I'm assuming this is much like we had in the last tasting segment, tap versus can, right?
Yes.
Okay. And which beer is this that came off tap/can?
John?
This is Libation, our double IPA.
But not a fabrication.
It is not a fabrication. This is a larger beer. It's actually one of our best-selling beers, and it's not necessarily your typical American double IPA. It's a little sweeter than most. This is one that we use to kind of get people into drinking bigger IPAs. It's got a nice malty backbone. We bitter it with Simcoe. We use some Centennial and Cascade in it.
Yeah, and for a double IPA, it is not like punch you in the face.
It's really not.
like scratch your face open and rip your teeth out.
Yeah.
Bitterness of a double IPA.
Like over the top. But yeah, it's kind of like the other one that we had. The bitterness doesn't stick around. You get it when you sip it, but afterwards you're not tasting it for 2 hours.
Well, I get a little pine that
Yeah.
lingers with me. That's very pleasant.
Oh, I
but
didn't
it
get
doesn't
that.
it doesn't stick.
Did you sip tap or can?
Both.
Let me go to can.
But yeah, like you said, it does. It is a little sweeter than a typical DIPA, and it's not overly intense with the bitterness, which I think is just it becomes a game of like who can top who with their crazy IPAs, and this is definitely very well balanced.
This one I think would fit more into the English styles of IPAs because
Yeah.
of the maltiness.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
the ABV puts it in a double.
Put the
category.
ABV,
Yeah.
And actually, surprisingly, this is 86, 90 IBUs. You
Yeah.
don't taste it.
No, it doesn't. It doesn't. Yeah.
Yeah.
It does not taste that bitter, and it does allow the malt character to come through. It's not buried under the hops.
Even so, at that IBU level, so many double IPAs are so much higher than that.
Yeah.
Which is good. I mean, to come into the low end of the double IPA for IBUs at least is, to me, is something that's a little more appealing for it.
Yeah, but how far can you really detect
I mean,
it?
that's
I mean,
another argument
This
for
is
it
a
too. But
conversation
really,
we've had
I
before,
really
but-
don't. I don't know, and
Yeah.
I'm not a scientist, but how much beyond 100 IBUs can you really detect it? And I don't know.
That's true. And like I said, it kind of becomes like a game. It's sort of like a, to be crass, like a dick swinging contest of my IBUs are bigger than yours and whatever. And I think there's something lost in it because there can be well-crafted IPAs and double IPAs, and I think sometimes it gets lost in the craziness. And this is a well-crafted double IPA.
I think the moniker double IPA scares a lot of people, and
Yeah.
when you finally, if we take it to a fest and we say, just give it a try, just try it, and they'll be really surprised because it isn't that rip your face off, and it has that malt backbone that really holds up, and I think turns a lot of people onto trying other things then, and that's what we try to do. You can see our motto, our slogan, convert the masses. We're trying to turn people into craft beer, and I think John does a good job of crafting beers that open up people's eyes to new things.
Absolutely.
But I think when you mentioned the malt backbone, I think this is a good example of the balance between the bitter hops and the malt backbone, because a lot of times breweries will throw that malt backbone phrase, and then you get bitterness, and then it's just like thick, syrupy sweetness in the end. And for me, I don't care for that. That's not what I want to drink. But this, you get the bitterness and the hops, and then you get the sweetness, but then that bitterness still comes back and you still taste the hops. So it's a truly well-balanced Dippa, and it's in a can.
And it's in a can. And you're right, it starts a little citrusy, and then you get the maltiness, and then that pininess lingers, like you said. Yeah. And what hops? You said it was dry hopped with Simcoe?
It's dry hopped with Cascade.
Oh, with Cascade. Okay.
But Simcoe and Centennial.
Yes.
Simcoe
You
and
use
Centennial.
3 hops in one beer.
I know. What are you doing?
This was an early recipe.
So you're at the point where, like, I'm not opening more than one hop bag.
This was actually a homebrew recipe,
This
right?
was, yes.
Was it really? No.
Wow.
Actually,
And the
hegemony was as well.
How long did you homebrew before you guys decided to open the brewery?
About 10 years each.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. I started in
He was in-
99.
Yeah. You were in Rhode Island then.
Yes.
Yeah.
So who came up with the idea? Who's the...
John.
You said, hey, let's
Let's
go
start
pro.
let's start a brewery.
Yeah. He came It's funny when you have, 2 guys in a room that have no business experience whatsoever trying to come up with a business plan. And,
No business experience, except we both ran our own business.
Well, yeah, but I mean, like, legitimate, like how to build a spreadsheet, how to show what you think.
I work for people in that. No, I'm not.
So I was digging through some old files, and I found the original paper he gave me that night, and it's really kind of hilarious.
We should frame it somewhere.
We should.
Yeah, it should be
yeah.
hanging somewhere.
Like,
in
yeah.
here.
Written on a
Yeah.
napkin.
You don't want to
think the
frame it and
math
hang
is
it up.
wrong,
Somebody
you
else
know.
might steal the idea.
True. Yeah. You should print it out on like your tasting sheets.
Yeah, there you go.
Our story.
You too can start a brewery. These simple steps.
So did you guys go right from home brewing to commercial, or did either of you work in any other commercial breweries? You went right into it?
Yeah.
That's cool. I think because it kind of scares me, the number of people that are accomplished home brewers and competently brew beers at home who just think, well, I'll just scale it up and open a brewery.
Yeah,
and it's not that simple. And it's
really
nice to see
not
you guys
that
took that jump, but you're obviously doing well, and you obviously know what you're doing. So
Yeah, with a lot of difficulty. Yeah, I mean,
Just hard work.
hard work.
That's
Yeah.
the key. You got to put in the work and be willing to mess up and try it, and
Yeah.
And you have to be a little bit of OCD.
especially to be the brewer. Yes.
Yeah. Yeah, that helps a lot.
Oh, we got that.
Aren't all brewers type A? You have to be. You have to be. So
I don't
how
even
did
know what that
how
is.
did Dane come on?
Oh, well,
You have to tell your own story.
Oh, that's all right. Well,
I can tell it, but it's probably not going to be as pretty.
Yeah. Okay, I will tell my own story then. I remember reading about the fact that there was going to be a brewery open in Ephrata, and I lived just down the road a little bit, and was pretty excited, and started like trying to figure out where it was. I try to get you guys on Facebook and like Beer Advocate and stuff like that, and like find out information and.
it's like one of those guys that like showed up every day. Give me a job. No. Okay, I'll be back tomorrow.
No, and then I found out where the location was. My wife, despite I would like look around. I saw one day you guys put the fan in. I just saw this big metal thing. I was like, oh, that must be where it's at. And went opening night and met John. I don't remember talking to Mike that night.
It's probably blending in.
Yeah. But John was nice enough because I didn't know. But he had put a growler back because I had communicated with him a little bit for me, and with him I should say in the. So I don't know. I started coming at pretty much every weekend filling growlers, and by sometime in the spring, they found out that I was. What I did during my day job, and I had some time off in the summers, and he said, what are you doing this summer? I said, I don't know. So
I think your wife wanted you to come.
Yeah, she wanted me to have something to do during the
Stop
summer.
moping around the house.
Oh yeah. She's really disappointed when I clean the house. And my first day off that summer, I went in and helped John, and John's laughing because he knows the first thing he asked me to do.
I hope it was clean something.
No, it was
Kinda.
dump beer, a whole fermenter of beer, and he wanted to see if I had the guts to do it. No. And so I did that, and then I still have the pictures on my phone, and
Well,
I kegged
100
beer.
gallons wasn't anything.
Right,
I'd be a
not
little more
now.
upset now.
Yeah. So
No, it's hard to dump beer if you brewed it, whether it's 5 gallons or 15 barrels.
yeah, and
At that point, it wasn't beer.
Yeah. And
I don't know what it was.
Yeah, and I mean, I don't have anywhere close to the homebrewing experiences these guys do, but really interested in craft beer, and I guess I stuck around long enough and showed them that I was interested enough that one thing led to another, and now I'm part owner, and it's I can't believe it. 5 years ago I would have been like, yeah, right, whatever. It's just a dream, but I think it's a great opportunity, and I thank Mike and John for the opportunity that and what we've done as a company.
Well, we're definitely thrilled to have him because he's become such an integral part to what we do here, and does such a great job with the social media and everything else. So.
Social what?
The social.
Social what?
Social what? The what now?
John and his dumb phone.
What'd you call me?
It's not a dumb phone. It's not a smartphone. It's a special phone.
Oh, there we go.
John and his special.
It wears a helmet.
I was going to say it belongs to the Special Phone Olympics.
Oh my.
Okay, so now for the moment that I've been waiting for. John, what's next?
Hegemony.
There's
Hegemony.
there's a sign behind the bar that teaches
I
you how
saw
to
that.
pronounce
That's
it.
really cool.
That's actually one of our regulars did that.
Nice.
He's been coming in since the old place, and he just showed up one day with it.
I have to say also, one of my favorite books is called Shadow of the Hegemon, so I knew how to pronounce that almost right away. Orson Scott Card, for anybody who needs to know. Which nobody really does, sorry.
I think I've heard of him.
Ender's Game.
Ender's
Yes.
Game. That's the one.
Yep,
yeah.
this
That's
was
why
one
I've
of
heard
the
of him.
one of the many sequels and parallel universes and whatnot. Sorry, I'm
There
done.
needs to be at least one nerd reference.
I was going to
every
say I'm done
episode.
being a nerd this episode. So
We haven't been nerding out much lately. Well, other than beer nerding, but
Wait, hold on a sec. Wayne, Star Trek. All right, we've nerded out.
let's drink some beer.
All right, so next up we have what looks to be a marvelously dark. Marvelously is apparently a word now. Dark beer.
This is a dark beer.
Good start.
Yes, hegemony. So it's 8%. It's chocolate. It's black malt. It's kind of a roasted coffee chocolate goodness. Drink it.
It is delicious.
It smells.
We
I haven't tried
actually
it yet.
this one we do have 2 hops in it. We bitter it with Centennial and kind of finish it off with East Kent Golding.
Okay.
Oh, that's so good.
I love this beer.
This-
I
great.
love this beer.
This too was a homebrew recipe. In fact, when I brewed it at home, I used to put honey in it. It was like 13%
Yeah.
at that point.
Wow.
Yeah, I imagine.
So it was actually more of an imperial stout at that point. This is get a lot of flack for calling it an imperial stout because it doesn't have that hot alcohol bite to it.
Which makes it
the alcohol's
dangerous.
really hidden well in this
Yeah.
beer.
It is.
So
I've
It
had
just
this
makes it
beer
more
so many
drinkable, so
times
drink
that
more of it.
every time I have it, I forget that it's 8%.
Yeah, that is.
And I'm ordering 2, 3 of them, and then I stand up. I'm like,
It's-
oh crap, that's 8%.
That's the thing. It's not hot like a lot of 8% ones that you have out there. Like
8.5.
8.5. Yeah, it's
Well, according to
for lack of a better word, it's smooth.
yeah, it is, and it is like richly, deliciously bitter. It's the coffee, the chocolate, it's just
It's everything you want
Yeah.
from an
from a
imperial
great stout. Yeah.
And
Yeah.
more.
And more.
this is actually my wife never drank beer before, and she figured well, my husband's starting a brewery. I should probably learn to like beer. And
Or at least try it.
She picked this beer up, and she loved it. This is
Yeah.
her favorite beer.
It's got a great dark chocolate aftertaste. It's awesome.
Has this ever been served on Nitro anywhere?
Yeah, actually, currently it's at
McCleary's.
McCleary's on
Yeah.
Nitro.
Unless he's out,
Oh, yeah.
but
No.
yeah.
Somebody untapped it over there.
There you go.
Tonight.
Yeah, tonight.
You're on it.
Yeah.
Ever watching the social media?
So, so good.
Watching the soch.
Well,
But
you
yeah,
guys
this is-
mentioned about a firkin for the 4th anniversary event. This would be a brilliant beer to put in a firkin. You could do
Yeah.
so much with it.
Right. We have, I think, St. Patrick's Day last year. We did a few different firkins of it. Right?
Yeah.
We did a coffee firkin. We did.
Vanilla beans.
Did we do vanilla
At
beans?
one
and
point, we had
vanilla beans and
cocoa
nibs.
nibs in the
Yeah.
same,
Well,
in the same firkin.
When did we do the Jameson infused oak
That was
in
that
the
same
Randall?
day. That was the same
Okay.
day.
Wow.
So we had.
Wow.
Wait,
Yeah,
see,
we-
where was this St. Patrick's Day? Is this happening again?
Yes.
Yes.
This year.
Here?
Yep.
Yeah.
Here.
Come here
we
on
did-
St. Patrick's Day.
Yeah. We have music group. Yeah, music group down by the Glenside. They played last year. They're traditional Irish music, and we soaked some oak chips in Jameson and threw it in the Randall and ran some hegemony through it. And
Surprisingly, it was amazing. Like, I didn't think it would infuse that well. It was
But it
like,
did.
Yeah.
it was so good.
yeah.
Delicious.
Yeah.
And I don't even like
This is great.
oak beer,
Yeah.
but I would drink that one.
I could
every day.
imagine. Yeah, I could imagine this would be.
And since I didn't know John when he was a home brewer, I've never tasted that honey one, but it sounds like a good reserve special bottle
4th
release
anniversary beer.
sometime.
4th anniversary beer, I'm saying.
Hey man, you should get on it.
Yeah, that's the response
You
to
could
everything. I
bottle
love it. Yeah.
750
Fit-
milliliter
maybe-
bottles.
There you go.
Limited release,
There you go. Summer's coming up.
hand bottle,
Have some time
signed,
off.
and numbered.
10th anniversary. Mike.
Yeah.
There you go.
Wow.
But
That's
this
usually
is
the
this is an
rule.
awesome beer.
That's usually the rule around here. If you have an idea, it's yours to do it too.
Great idea. Make it happen.
Yep.
John, that's a great idea.
Yeah.
I can't wait to try that. Did it work? Did it work? No.
No.
We actually used to have a sign.
Yeah.
We had a sign that said, "I hate good ideas."
Yeah.
Just under that is, "Who's John Galt?"
Yeah.
And then visualize success, but don't believe your eyes.
Correct.
Oh, funny.
Nice.
I could keep drinking this, but it is
I
a big
know.
one, so I should stop. But it is
know.
delicious.
You can see why this gets me in trouble.
Yeah, it is.
And it would
is.
be great in a can. That would
I
be
would
my
feel
vote.
a little. I don't know. I do feel a little odd drinking like a stout or a porter out of a can.
But you
pour
could
it in a
take it.
glass.
I know. Yeah, yeah.
You could,
That's what
but
I would do.
if it's in a can, you can take
You
it
can get
anywhere.
anywhere. Yeah, I would feel weird drinking it out of the can. I
Take
would.
it skiing in the Swiss Alps.
Yeah, I don't do skiing or Swiss Alps. I'm sorry.
But if you had this beer in a can, maybe you would.
I would.
Goes good with Andy's candies.
Yeah. And candies. All right, fair enough.
We should bust that out.
I
with
think if
Greg
I had a
Orth.
6-pack
should-
of this in a can and drank it all, I could pretend I was skiing in the Swiss Alps and I'd be satisfied.
I think when we have Greg Orth on the show for Valentine's
We'll break out the
Day,
Andes candies.
we should bring a growler of this and Andy's candies, and we should be like, Greg, we have a chocolate
We
pairing
have a
for
pairing
you.
for you. This would actually, seriously, pair well with some chocolate.
There you go,
I think.
Randall with mint.
Yeah. Ugh, I don't like mint.
Well, Andy's
Sorry.
candies, that's the mint and chocolate, right?
Yeah,
Yeah, you get them when you go to the Olive Garden, is it?
I think a number of
Nobody knows
restaurants.
I think so.
what I'm
Yeah.
talking about. Okay.
Yeah. I know
Nobody
what
wants
you're
to
talking
admit
about,
they
yeah.
went to the Olive
I
Garden.
like the Olive Garden.
We only go to the Olive Garden when my grandmother from Italy comes over.
You were right. Put a couple beers in it. I love it.
Yeah, he wanted me to get him started at 2:00, so he was really liquored up. But
Yeah.
Nice. He's working on showing up on that soundboard.
We're getting there.
I don't think at the beginning of the night I would have pegged John as the one that would make it.
That's true.
But I have
It's
to ask
always
you,
the quiet one.
how many times has that been the case?
It's always the quiet one.
How many times has that been the case? Yes. So this beer in front of us now is
John.
Black currant. No, it's not John. It's black currant. So this is an imperial stout. We obviously put black currant in it. This beer actually came out from a tattoo company had requested us to make them a beer for their opening, and we had gone through several different things that had the word black incorporated in it, black cherries or something like that, and we ended up trying different things, and I even tried squid ink. Make something really black. The name of the tattoo company was Tattoos Inc., and they wanted just kind of that whole vibe going for them. So we actually, I had read that in Ireland they spike Guinness with black currant syrup. So I tried that, and I was, this is good. I'll make a beer out of it. So just typical Russian IPA. Dialed it down a little bit.
Stout, you mean?
Russian stout. Yeah,
The Russian IPA.
Russian IPA.
Russian
Creamy
imperial
black
stout. Yeah.
JCP style.
Yeah. So anyway, I'll just drink. No. I dialed it down a little bit and threw some black currant syrup in it, and here we are. This is it.
It's so delicious.
It is
It's
really good.
really, really good.
It's really good. You get a tiny hint of like a almost like a licorice type flavor, or like a anise.
Anise.
Not anise. I think it's anise.
I have anise. I have two.
I'm waiting for it.
I have 4. I do have 4.
But yeah, it's very good.
It is really good. It when you poured it, I was amazed at how even when you pour a beer, normally light gets through the stream. No, not here. No,
This is the
straight up like
definition
it's
of
the
opaque.
darkest thing I think I've ever seen in a glass.
Yeah, it is incredibly opaque, and it's got nice color on the
good.
head, a nice mocha color.
So when you had the squid ink idea, you were going to dye the head, so
Well,
it was
I was-
black also?
Yeah, well, so we were thinking like squid ink turns everything black, and that way the head would be black as well. I don't know if it ever really actually had a head at that point. Right.
Yeah, I was
Well-
thinking, would it destroy the head? Would it kill the head retention? Or I don't.
Well, it was. I mean, we were going off a fermented beer. It wasn't actually carbonated at that time, so it was. I had a pitcher and several glasses out on the table, and we were just spiking everything.
Just to see what tasted.
So-
What kind of flavor does squid ink
With salt.
give? Just salt?
Fish.
Yeah, seafood.
Yeah.
Did it give a
It's-
fishy
yeah,
taste?
it's-
General
it does have a
brininess.
fishy, salty taste.
And it's
Yeah.
like $20 for like 2 ounces of
Oh
it.
my
Yeah,
god!
it's crazy.
Seriously?
Ridiculous.
Is it actually used in cooking? I mean, I've never heard.
Yes.
I mean,
Yeah,
to
Isn't
turn
there
out a
like
pasta
squid ink
black.
pasta?
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Ew.
Really? Interesting. I'd eat it.
I've
I'll
never
eat anything.
had it, but I've heard of it.
Breaking news.
We have something in front of us that has been poured out of a fermenter. What do we have?
We have our Northern Brown Ale. This is a recipe by Nate, our brewer's assistant.
The working name for it is nuclear squids, right?
Nuclear squids attack Northern England, and this is the beer that
Code
came
name.
from it. It's actually one of the biggest specialty malt bills I have brewed. I was a little skeptical at first, but Nate shined through, and this is actually a really solid Northern Brown Ale. It's got a really good malty caramel, a little bit of chocolate roast there,
Nutty. You get the nutty
Yeah,
finish
the
you
nuttiness
want.
and
and the hops are really subtle, just kind of shine through to balance out just a little bit of that sweetness, but the hops aren't really forward in it at all.
It's super good.
it is really good.
Yeah.
It is. It's excellent showcase of maltiness and
I love brown
Yeah.
ales, and this is a great representation of the style.
Yeah.
So is this your next small batch beer coming out, your
This
next offering?
this will be our next offering, and I'm not sure what number it will be, but it is up
Pretty sure 21.
21.
I'm not sure. 20, 21. So we'll let
Anybody
you know.
who's celebrating their 21st birthday
yeah,
you
good
go.
offering 21.
will get
shit.
to
Wayne,
the opportunity to buy a pint. of this
What do you?
Opportunity to buy it.
What is the
for the first time.
ABV on this? What are you shooting for here?
This, I think, I'll have to look at my notes. It's not one I generally. It's in the low 4s.
The last offering that is on Untapped is 18.
Then it's going to be 19.
So this will be offering 19.
Yeah.
So anybody who's 19.
No. Strike that from the record.
It hath been stricken.
Beer Busters does not condone drinking under the age of 21.
When can we expect this to be on tap?
This
Here.
actually goes on tap for our anniversary. So that will be February. When is that date? Our anniversary is the 2nd, but it doesn't always fall on a Saturday. It's
It
weird
will
how that
be
works.
February 7th. Since it's so close to the 2nd. We're closed the 2nd, and we'll push it to the 7th as our anniversary. And John, you were saying you didn't know if this was the final product or not?
No.
Well, you did mention that. I just wanted to bring it back to that.
Yeah, well,
Back to what we're actually-
I'm glad you brought that up. Can't you tell?
Yeah.
So our initially we were going to put cocoa nibs in this. Make it a chocolatey brown ale.
And that would be delicious, but it doesn't need it.
This is so
That's
good.
right.
It doesn't
I
need it.
don't want to mess with it. So
Yeah.
Could be another Firkin. Just line that
There you
bar
go.
with
There
Firkins.
you go.
Yeah.
Yep.
How many do you got?
how many do you want to clean?
Told you.
This is our Pilsner.
Whoa!
It's not crystal clear.
Well, it's what?
It looks like orange juice.
Yeah, it's like orange juice.
It's reminiscent of orange juice.
So a week in the fermenter?
With something in the bottom.
Yeah,
Yes.
there's a little bit.
Oh yeah, yep. There you go. There's something in the bottom.
Floaty bits.
Yeah.
It is bottom
I don't know
fermenter.
what that is. This is a German Pilsner.
Ooh.
German malts, German yeast, German hops, and I'm a little bit German myself.
But not German
Well,
water.
and this area was settled by Germans, so the water's even German.
That's
Saint
true.
Boniface,
That's true.
was not German, but he used to hang out there.
There you go.
There you go.
Wiener Schnitzel.
It will probably be messy to pour, but
Yeah.
oh no,
It's-
that
But
was
delicious to
It
drink.
smells so good.
Thank you.
Oh, that was a nice catch.
No, I mean.
Will this be another offering? Or what's the plan with this? Another offering?
Well,
We'll see.
it might
It
be.
will be.
gonna
I might
start out
quit.
Probably
Oh,
it'll
wow.
be introduced.
I might quit brewing everything else and just do that.
No.
so you can take a wee vacation.
Yes.
Just have Nate come in and take the gravities and you can
Yeah.
go on vacation.
Yeah.
It's real lemony right in the front.
Yeah.
Real lemon.
Just what you want.
Yeah.
It's so good.
I'm gonna call it beer.
Hey, that's a good name.
B-I-E-R beer.
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 Should I tell him what my idea was for the name yesterday?
Well, I forget.
Aw.
Tell me.
It's M-E-H. Meh. Pilsner. This is
Oh, it's more than
yeah,
that.
yeah, no.
It's good. Das ist gut.
In a way, at the back of my palate, it reminds me of a pretzel.
Yeah.
I kind of like being the whole
Because
German
your
thing.
palate wants a pretzel.
I do want a
a
pretzel.
pretzel, yeah.
So we should start a pretzel company.
There you go.
Oh, there you go.
New tangent. All right. Brewery closed. Making pretzels now.
Because there's no pretzel
Beer,
companies around here.
pretzels.
Nobody
nobody
makes
makes
pretzels
pretzels.
here.
I think there's a pretzel
This area is
company
not known
in
for pretzels, but we're gonna make it known for pretzels.
Places.
We could be
Really
Canada's first
tits?
brewery. A brewery with pretzels.
That is such a novel idea.
I don't know if any brewery
No one has
has
ever
pretzels.
thought of that ever before.
It's like those pretzels; they make you thirsty.
With the salt.
With
I
These
really,
pretzels
we need to
are
wrap
making me
this up.
thirsty.
I'm just saying.
Yeah, we've gotten a little train wrecky.
So, Dane, where can our listeners find you on the Soch?
All right. Well, you can check us out on Facebook. We also use Twitter and Instagram. not as often as the others. Sorry,
John
you
does not.
Instagrammers. Wrong. John does have an Instagram
monitor.
account.
Oh, do I have an Instagram account?
Oh,
I
and-
do.
and-
Yes, I do.
And he doesn't have a Facebook account, but he always is telling me about Facebook.
Yeah, I like to monitor and make sure you're doing your job.
Because one day I signed in on his computer and he hasn't logged me out yet.
Well, I have to.
And our website's in the process of being constructed, stbonifacebrewing.com. But that has all.
Corey, are you out there?
You know. But hopefully that'll be up and live. There is a holding page there, but hopefully up and live in the next couple weeks.
It's only our fault that we've
It
taken
is.
4
Yeah.
years to do it.
Yes, we have. Yeah.
Hey,
Better late than never.
I just found the internet.
So make sure you come to the brewery February 7th for the 4th anniversary party. Lots of firkins across the bar. The brown ale will be released that day. The bar will be full of firkins.
Don't forget the bondles.
At least a dozen.
And then come on February 8th to help clean them. St. Patrick's Day, come and check that out
Second annual Bonifest is this June, right, Steph?
this June.
Awesome. You should be here for that.
Dan, do you have a question to ask me?
I have a lot of questions to ask you, but the most pressing is, what are the favorites?
Hegemony.
Okay, so Steph has a vote for Hegemony. Wayne, gun to your head.
I had gun to my head. I'm going to say Hegemony, though I did enjoy all the beers. Yeah.
I think-
You know what? I'm not. I go on and on and on at this part sometimes in a pretentious sort of like explaining
Yeah.
why I like
Dan,
every
what was
beer
your
kind of
favorite
way.
beer?
My favorite was probably the ESB.
Oh, yes. Super
Going
drinkable.
back to the originals, sort of,
Mike?
that we had tonight, at least.
I think Paideia for me.
And now that I know how to pronounce it,
Yeah.
I do love that
Tyler
beer.
Paris
Very
video.
I'll take
Oh.
the gun.
I'll do you last.
Did you say you'll take the gun? What?
My current favorite is definitely 3 Pound.
Oh, yeah,
All right,
3 pound.
all right.
Dippa.
I'm loving it.
3 pounds.
Sophie's Choice. Oh,
3
you
pounds.
said, wow, that was
Wow. I
fast
had to
for
think
a
about it.
brewer.
Yeah.
Wow.
Usually brewers stall and dance around it. Good.
3 pound today. Tomorrow, ask me something.
Yeah.
Tell you
Being a
something
big
I'll ask you tomorrow.
Cider tomorrow.
else. Sour cider.
Oh man. So Steph has to pee. So this means that this means that we should probably wrap this up by now. This is sadly and unfortunately the end of another episode of Beer Busters Podcast. Guys, we'd like to thank you for having us out here today. It was so much fun and a blast. The beers are amazing. They're so good.
They're really good.
And keep up the good work, please.
Absolutely.
Well, thank you so much for having us. I didn't mean to cut you off there. But
No, please.
definitely.
It's awesome having you guys got out
Yeah,
here.
yeah,
and
finally,
scheduled.
yeah.
It's awesome.
Probably the most anticipated episode ever.
Yes. It's up there. It's definitely up there.
It's really up there.
As always, I am Dan Baker, joined by my co-host and brewologist,
Steph Hefner.
and our from entertainer.
Wayne Baker.
And let's not forget that no squids were harmed in the recording of this episode. Until next time, my friends, we bid you adieu.
Ink Sphincter.
I really like cleaning.